Well, whether or not to send your kids back to school is an issue that parents across the country are facing at this time. In Ontario, there's been heated debate between teachers' unions, school boards, and the Ford government. The province announced a $500 million to promote school safety, but a recent poll found that 25% of Ontario parents will not be sending their kids back to the classroom come September. For more on this, we're joined by Ontario's Education Minister Stephen Lecce. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so Minister Lecce, give us your thoughts on this poll and what it could potentially mean for schools if a quarter of the parents don't want to send their kids back.
Yeah, Ontario is uniquely positioned by giving choice to parents, an online remote option, and of course, an in-class option. And, we think that's a strength. Every parent will make a decision based on their comfort, based on the situation of their home. They may have pre-existing health conditions, aging parents. Every situation is different. And I think having the latitude and enabling a parent to make that choice is really important, which is why we gave them that. Mm-hmm. With respect to the fact that some parents will opt for the online option, I think they're doing so, based on their own circumstance, but because they know that the remote option will be stronger than the past. We have live synchronous learning, an expectation of at least 75% of the day must have those Zoom-style live classrooms. There's greater accountability, and there's also just an improvement of the quality of that experience. So we respect the choice of parents, but I do want them to know that the online option will be better. And of course, we're going to continue to work on the safety of the in-class option for the majority of parents who are opting to send their children to class this September.
So do you support parents who decide to keep their kids home? And what do you think it would take from your government to change their mind?
Well, look, I think it's a matter of respecting parental choice. I think every parent will make a decision based on their own circumstance at home. But what I can tell you is that both options will be strong. The online option will be robust. It'll be comprehensive. It'll ensure that children have access to their teacher and their students and have a bit of a community and educational experience that will be much better than the spring. But for those in class, we have, unveiled the very comprehensive masking protocol. We're spending more in Ontario than any province. We're making clear testing and screening and cleaning are foundational elements of our protocol. And it's been led and supported by the Chief Medical Officer of Health. So I think parents should have confidence knowing that the most senior medical authority of this province has endorsed it fully, and that the province and the government under the Premier's leadership has been scaling it up. Look, over successive weeks, we've been continuously investing more, adding more layers of prevention. And I think that should, if anything, give incremental confidence as we go through this process, as we deal with this unprecedented and unpredictable pandemic, that we can and we will overcome the challenge and get these kids safely back into class in September.
And you have invested a significant amount of money ensuring the school safety, but some teachers' unions say it still doesn't do enough to protect teachers and staff. What's your response to that?
Ontario is investing more than any province. We are investing roughly $900 million in net new contribution. We're unlocking $500 million as we announced on Thursday for more social distancing, for more spacing. We invested $309 million just a few weeks ago to allow for masking of all students, giving free masks, PPE to all kids grade 4 and up. Likewise, for all staff, we've invested $75 million in more cleaning. That's 1,300 more custodians. That's $25 million in more hand sanitation products and soap and cleaning materials for our schools. An additional $50 million to hire 500 nurses, public health nurses for our schools to support testing as well as symptom relief. And of course, we've unveiled a $20 million program around to do asymptomatic testing, surveillance testing of our high school students. Look, we are investing a lot. And what we all need to do is just, at this point, just collaborate and work together to make sure that we can safely reopen the schools. The issue is not financial. We are putting money where it counts, and we're unlocking funds. But I think it also comes down to an element of collaboration. And, what we're seeing across the country is the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, forging a very positive relationship with, Christopher Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Liberal government of the day, with municipal actors of all political persuasions. We're all working across party lines. We all have to work together, put the historic issues of the past. We're not here to relitigate them. We just have to collaborate and come together on an issue that I really think transcends politics, which is the safety of kids and the staff within our schools.
And what lessons can we learn from other provinces who have kids back in school that can apply in Ontario?
A few weeks ago, if I may take some liberty with the question, I called the Minister of Education in New South Wales, Australia. And why I did that is because, as a matter of lessons learned, they're dealing with their influenza and the flu season, given that it's winter there now. And I thought it was important to reach out to her to understand what are the chief lessons learned as they face that sort of second wave and, of course, in the flu season. Of the two fundamental points was, one, the importance for parents to get their children vaccinated leading into September. Making sure all vaccines are updated is critical because, as you could appreciate, we always deal with the flu and colds and coughs in September and beyond. And so that's going to create some challenge in schools. So we want to make sure that all the vaccines are done. And the second lesson learned is just the importance of masking. And Ontario is the only province to have the most comprehensive masking protocol. We've mandated it from grade 4 up. I have noted other provinces sort of incrementally moving towards that step. But we have been informed by public health that the best thing we can do is ensure we are cleaning these rooms, that we have better airflow, which is why we invested $50 million in air quality. And it's also part of listening to the chief medical officer was ensuring that we have distancing in place, which is why we've ensured $500 million is being reinvested to provide for more spacing, more hiring of educators, just to make this as safe as possible. And I'll just finally conclude with a recognition of thanks to the people of Ontario. I mean, we are in so many ways leading the way, a population of 14.7 million. We test 20 to 30,000 a day, and it's amazing that for 7 or 8 now consecutive days, we've been under 100 positive tests. Community transmission risk has a lot to do with our ability to send kids to school. If we keep the rate down, if we continue to flatten that curve and reduce that risk, and the trajectory continues to go down, I mean, I feel very confident, and I hope parents too, looking at the data objectively, that we are doing our part as a society, and we will enable these children to go to school each and every day this fall. So I want to thank the people for their work and encourage them to keep doing it, because now more than ever, it actually matters as we lead into September.
All right, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this morning. Once again, that is Ontario's Education Minister, Stephen Lecce. Thanks again.
Thank you.